Good morning, friends. Today's subject is ECHM, Environmental Conservation and Hazard Management. GTU code for this subject is 3300003. Today's chapter is Ecology and Environment, Chapter 1, and topic is Various Environmental Issues. Myself, Rohit B PATEL, working as a lecturer in Mechanical Engineering Department of VPMP Polytechnic. Now first look at the objectives of this topic. In this topic we will learn something about various environmental issues like industrialization, urbanization, environmental pollution and greenhouse effects. There are 11 environmental issues faced by the human beings. Now first is the industrialization. What is the industrialization? And specific definition is the process of developing factories, industries and production system to produce various products is known as the industrialization. Because of excessive industrialization, various issues will be created. Among them, first one is the land, water and air pollution, urbanization, more criminalization due to urbanization, decrease in agricultural land because of development of industries, more land is required, global warming and depletion of ozone layer because of the increasing temperature of the earth, and ecological imbalance due to decrease in forest cover. Second environmental issues is urbanization. What is the urbanization? Urbanization is movement and migration of people from villages to the cities for the purpose of jobs and businesses. In search of jobs and business is known as the urbanization. There are various issues will be created because of urbanizations are increased pollution. More and more people traveling to cities will increase the pollution level, decrease health standard and also destroy villages and agriculture and also increase in traffic because of the more transportation system required. Third is the environmental pollution. Definition of the environmental pollution is it is the contamination of environment when clean air and water is contaminated, which create the severe impacts on environment like badly affects human health, quality of life and ecosystem. It is known as the environmental pollution. Means clean air, water or land contaminated by various particles and pollutants like chemicals, dust, particles and liquids and pesticides, then it is known as the environmental pollutions. There are major two reasons like industrialization and increased number of automobile vehicles are responsible for environmental pollution. Now we look at the pollutants. What is the pollutants? Pollutants is the one type of the material which is responsible for the environmental pollution. When these pollutants are mixed with the clean air, water or land, then create the pollution. The specific definition is the materials which pollute atmosphere are called pollutants. Mainly there are two types of pollutants, biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Biodegradable pollutants are less harmful for the atmosphere like food and vegetable waste collected from the hotels, hospitals and animal and human waste, less harmful. Second is the non-biodegradable which is harmful like plastics and pesticides and fertilizers utilized in agriculture activities, creates more severe impacts on our environment. Fourth environmental issue is greenhouse effect. What is the greenhouse effect? When the sun's solar energy in form of heat energy reaches to the earth's atmosphere, some portion of this solar energy is absorbed by the ocean water and some surfaces of the earth. Remaining portion of the heat energy or solar energy reflected to the space. But there are various gases available in the atmosphere. This reflected energy will be absorbed by the gases available or present at the atmosphere. This process increases the temperature level of the earth, and this increase in temperature harmful for the human and animals. This is known as the greenhouse effect. And greenhouse gases present at atmosphere are responsible for the greenhouse effect. Example of these gases are chlorofluorocarbons, shortly CFCs, methane, CH4, nitrogen oxide and carbon dioxide are the greenhouse gases which are responsible for the greenhouse effect. These gases in the atmosphere absorb the reflected solar energy and increase the Earth's atmospheric temperature. Fifth environmental issue is the depletion of natural resources. Because of demand of human beings for furniture and other needs, there are a depletion of natural resources like trees. Cutting down of trees are the best example of the depletion of natural resources. What are the reasons for this depletion? First one is the population explosion, increase in the population, industrialization. Because of the excessive industrialization leads to a consumption of fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, oil. Third is the increased transportation sector, also increase the consumption of the fossil fuels. Demand of electricity leads to the consumption of coal. Excessive mining is also the consumption leads to the consumptions of natural resources. Rapid deforestation for wood. Arctic glaciers and ice are melting when the temperature of Earth's atmosphere will be increased. Now next is the deforestation. Cutting down lot of trees will lead to the deforestation. There are various reasons are responsible for the deforestation. First is the demands of land for human habitats. To construct new buildings and homes for the human require the land. So if we cut down the trees, then this land is available. So it is the main reason. Wood is also required to prepare the furniture. Fodders and leaves are needed for cattle. Animals are utilizing the trees plant for their food. So decrease the forest area. Now there are severe impacts on environment. Loss of ecological balance. Ecosystem will be disturbed because of the deforestation. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. It is not possible due to deforestation because quantity of the trees will be decreased, and because of decrease in trees and plant, oxygen level also will be reduced. So it is very dangerous for the human life existence. How deforestation will be reduced? It is possible for human being by plant a lot of trees. We can protect our forest, and if possible decrease the use of paper. Also helpful to protect our trees, and if possible by recycled products, then we can save natural resources, and applying stricter government laws, rules and regulations, we can protect our forest. Now desertification means increase in dry land area. In simple language, it is known as the increase in dry land area. There are various causes of desertification. Overgrazing, excessive utilization of grass, plant and trees for the food for animals. It is the main reason for the desertification. Seawater transformation. When seawater is transformed to agricultural land area, then destroy the fertility of the land and reduce the fertility of the land. It is not usable for the agriculture purpose. Now deforestation, cutting down of lot of trees. It is the responsible for the desertification. Excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides leads to the desertifications. Decrease the quality of the land. Overdrafting and overuse of groundwater for the agriculture and industrial activities leads to a desertification. Urbanization and land development, climate change and erosion of soil are the major reasons for desertification. How we can prevent the desertification? First, by constructing check dams and dry land, by planting a dry land forestry like cactus, and by improving quality of soil or land using organic manure instead of chemicals, pesticides and fertilizer. If you use organic manure for the agriculture purpose, we can improve the quality of the soil. Now constructing walls of magic stones, we can also protect and avoid the desertification. And deep irrigation is work as a boon to prevent the desertification. It is very important. Now acid rain. What is the acid rain? When sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide produced from the industries and smoke of the automobile vehicles mix with the air and water, then air will be polluted and water also will be polluted in the atmosphere. And when this water is fall down on the agriculture and residential areas, then this rain is known as the acid rain. And pH value of the acid rain is 4.3. This rain, if the pH value of this water is 4.3 or about near 4.3, then it is very harmful for the agriculture activity and human being. It is not usable water. Next is the depletion of ozone layer. In atmosphere, there are various gases are present like chlorofluorocarbons, carbon dioxide, halon gases, released from the human activities. This can damage the protecting layer, ozone. Ozone layer is available around the earth, which can protect us from the ultraviolet rays produced from the sun. And when these gases, atmospheric gases like chlorofluorocarbons and halon gases, damage ozone layer, then ozone layer is not able to protect us from the ultraviolet rays. These ultraviolet rays are very harmful for the human beings. How can we protect the ozone layers? There are various ways to protect the ozone layers by avoiding the consumption of gases which are dangerous to the ozone layers, and also by minimize the automobile vehicles, use of the automobile vehicles. As possible, do not use cleaning products which are very harmful for the environment, and if possible, by always purchase local product and organic products. Now, effects of ozone layer depletion. If continuously ozone layer is depleting, so which create harmful impacts on the atmosphere. So first is the increase the global temperature. Temperature of the earth will be increased. Ice melting. If ice melt, because of the ice melting, quantity of the sea water will be increased, and in lower area damage the fertility of the land and cause great damage to DNA also. Skin cancer is responsible for ultraviolet exposure, and UV exposure also create harmful impacts on human eyes and produce and damage the immune system. Next topic is the global warming. If the temperature of the earth is increasing, it is known as the global warming. There are various reasons: industrial revolution, transportation, deforestation, excessive use of insecticides and pesticides, and greenhouse gases and other pollutants are responsible for the global warming. What happens if global warming continuously grow? First, extreme weather events. Weather patterns will be changed in the timing of seasonal events. For example, earlier flowering of plants, sea level will be rise, and decline in Arctic sea ice content. Because of higher increase earth temperature will be increased, then melting of the ice decreases the ice content, quantity of the ice. Now, how we can protect ourselves from global warming? First idea is installation of effluent treatment plant. Then we can reduce the global warming impacts. CNG must be used instead of petrol and diesel, and plant more and more tree. We can reduce the global warming. Last topic is climate change. What is the climate change? The concept of climate change, it is a long-term alternation of temperature, rainfall and typical weather patterns. Change in pattern of temperature, rainfall and typical weather pattern is known as the climate change. And there are various factors responsible for the climate change. Say, changes in the direction of hot and cold currents available in the ocean. Orbital variation. Orbital variation means it is the angle around which our earth is rotating in the solar system. It is known as the orbital variation. It is also the responsible. Solar output. We are obtaining lower solar energy compared to years ago. So it is also the reason. Volcanic activities and plate tectonics, which is responsible for the earthquakes, and human activities like industrialization and transportation are responsible for the climate change. Okay friends, thank you very much to take interest in today's session.